video may or may not have some value attached to it, but I just want to tell you my experience of building more muscle as I was a teen. Actually, as I am a teen, but when I started, I was around 13 years old. Now, I'm 16, turning 17 in a few days. I want to share my experience of what actually happened when I built more muscle, when I got bigger. Because I'm sure if you're watching this, you are most likely the guy who is skinny. You still go to school like I do. And you've been seeing the body transformations. Maybe you've been thinking about starting to either go to the gym or start lifting at home because you want to start building muscle, you want to start changing your physique, you want to start changing your physical appearance, you are interested in it, you're interested in the journey of getting jacked, basically. I wouldn't say I'm the most jacked right now, but obviously I've built a lot more muscle compared to who I used to be. I was very skinny. And honestly speaking, bro, at first, when I started making like my first few visible signs of muscle gain, it was only noticed, it wasn't noticed really. It wasn't really noticed, to be honest. Like there was a time when I was in PE class, I was running during this PE drill game they were giving us. And actually, they told us to like, the boys to basically pull like half of their shirts up. So we basically had to be like half shirtless, if you get what I mean. And that was where people could basically see like our abs. And I remember as I was just running and I looked to the side, I actually saw the girls who were sitting down on the bench watching us from like our grade. All of them were actually staring at me. They were literally staring at me, and all of them started like laughing at each other, gossiping with each other, because I'm sure they were talking about the fact that they saw my abs. Because back then, it was a couple of months after I started training, which was all at home, by the way. And I was making progress, obviously. Like I actually started seeing visible gains. My size was definitely going up, but not by a lot. Since I was training at home with very limited equipment, but at the same time, I wasn't that much bigger, but I had abs. I finally had like a very good killer six-pack abs, and that was what was on display, along with my arms. You know, like my left arm, because it was like half, you can imagine it was like half shirtless. And I remember when that class finished, bro, like so many of the girls were screaming, you know, like freaking out. I was even sat down at the class after our physical education class, which was like Afrikaans or something. And a girl from across the table literally shouted a comment saying, "Hey, we appreciate your work, we saw your abs," stuff like that. And even my crush at the time, of course she wasn't acting blatantly like, "Oh no, I like you now," because that's what I was hoping. You know, back then I was genuinely insecure. But I could tell she looked at me with a bit of approval. Like, you know, I see you. Now we can fast forward like a couple of months again, like, you know, like very fine to the future, honestly. I mean, there was a time where I had more muscle once again. But honestly, those times, because of like the clothes I was wearing, it wasn't really as obvious. And there was a time where I was standing with my dad by the ATM and we were just back from traveling somewhere. And there was also like some other like not child, but like teenager, a girl who was standing with like her grandmom or like her mom or something, also by the ATM right next to us. And I remember naturally, I turned and looked towards her. And immediately, my heart almost started like pounding. Because I saw her. You know, we held eye contact for like a split second because I wasn't even actually trying to look at her, but I actually saw her. And I caught her checking me out. Like I literally caught her just like looking at me, you know, checking me out. And I looked, and you know, obviously I looked the way I was acting like I couldn't do anything or whatever, but I just saw that she was looking at me. And I wasn't really wearing clothes that was flexing my physique. But that's one thing I can tell you. Another thing is like, there was even a time when I was just sitting down with one of my friends, and I remember one of them even just telling me that girls are looking at my muscles. He literally just told me like, bro, the girls are looking at your muscles. They were looking at your muscles when it was the basketball tournament, and you know, you were wearing that the sleeveless shirt, and you know, your arms were showing. Like, girls were just looking at your muscles. It got to the point where one of my friends were just telling me, bro, girls are looking at your muscles. And now let's just fast forward up until like around now, because to be honest, the amount of like attention and things has been generally the same. But I'm telling you, up until like recently, even like maybe the past 6 to 12 months, where I've obviously gained the most amount of muscle I have in my life. And you know, it's only like about a year and a half ago, like a year ago, I started actually going to a proper gym, because I remember before this I was always training at home. I remember when I finally, you know, had like this quite big physique, there just came a point where when I'd start walking around on the street, and you know, the people who kind of knew me or people my age, they would look at me and start calling me big man. Like, that was when for the first time I was walking home from the gym, usually passing like this busy gas station, like, you know, crossing street area with the robots and cars passing and people like waiting for cars to pick them up. Some of like those homeless guys literally just started calling me big man. Like, yo, big man, big man. That's when people just started calling me big. Even my basketball coach literally just started, okay, but he was calling me big like a long time ago, because I was always a center. People, like these males, they started just calling me big man, like these males. Big man, big man, big man, big man. You know, whenever I'd walk around. And then that was also when I'd be walking home from the gym. Like, there was this time when I was walking. Once again, cars are passing by. Some cars are like parked by like the area where, you know, I'm walking out of the gym. I just look to my left and I literally spot a girl seated inside of like you know, a car that's parked, and she's just staring at me. She's literally staring at me, just staring at me, not even in like the freaked out way, but you know what I mean. She's just staring at me, checking me out. And even as I kept on taking the walk back home, it was not surprising for me to keep on like catching other girls inside of cars looking at me, even as the cars were like driving by. And those girls themselves were looking like they were probably around my age. I'd always just catch them staring at me, like just looking at me every single time I'm walking and I see a car on the street passing me. I can literally look left towards it most of the time when I'm on the sidewalk and literally catch a girl looking at me from the car, literally like looking at me, staring at me, checking me out. And you know, obviously I'm just wearing my normal clothes that are like kind of like muscle fit, like, you know, they're quite well fit. And not even only girls, like even just like the random strangers in the cars. I notice now, like whenever I'm walking on the street, most of the time when I look to my left, the people always just look at me, like they don't just like quickly look. Like when I look at the car and it's like passing me, because you only see it for a temporary amount of time, they are always looking. They are always looking at me. That's how much more captivating my frame has become. Like, I actually built a frame where, you know, I've always been tall. I've always been taller than the average person. I've always been like above 6 foot or 6 foot when I started lifting. Like, I'm being honest with you, so I'm lucky. But I used to be 6 foot and skinny. 6 foot and skinny. And as I got like 6 foot and more muscular, building up my frame now, where I'm like 6 foot, like 3, maybe even 4 now. I've grown taller. And my frame, you know, I've built my frame in a specific way. You know, it's no longer just like skinny like it used to be. When I wear specific clothes especially, but even in general now, because of like my overall size, I keep on gaining people's attention, because obviously in terms of weight also, I weigh like over 100 kilograms, easily over 100 kilograms, which I know sounds crazy, but at the same time I'm not fat. Like my body fat percentage is below 10% body fat, so you can imagine what I'm talking about here. Like my attention has just gone up. Like girls no longer like just ignore me. I'm no longer that one type of like person that, you know, that's just invisible to them. When I pass them, they're always flipping. I always catch a girl looking at me. There was even a time when I was sitting in my class and we were doing like a practical, right? And one of like the hot girls in our overall school who's in my class was also doing her like practical, a chemistry practical, on the table that was right in front of me. And of course, you know, I was minding my own business and I literally caught her like more than once, maybe like 3 times whilst we were like doing the practical. I caught her kind of like sneakily finding an excuse to literally look behind her so that she could quickly glance at me. Because listen, the clothes I was wearing, I was not wearing normal school uniform. I was just wearing like the, you know, I was wearing like the shirt, like the school shirt, but like, you know, the sports one that was kind of like well fitted on me, muscles. So of course my frame was way more visible than just wearing like a full-on blazer. Like I caught her like more than 3 times and more than once, you know, because there was also other days where she quickly like tries to like look behind her and her eyes like quickly glance at me. Not even at like the things I'm doing, but they glance at me. Meaning that she's probably trying to lustfully look at my physique. Because when you have a specific physique, bro, and you know, you just have it like effortlessly, it's not like you're trying to flex. Because girls want to see, bro, by the way. All they want to see, let me check the time. All they want to see is the results. They don't really want to see you flexing, showing your muscles. Like there was a time when I was standing during an athletic event and I wanted to, what do you call it? I wanted to like race, right? And you know, like these guys were like, they're like just obsessing. They were like, yo, this guy is massive, he has muscles. It was earlier this year. A random girl literally like came to the discussion with me and another guy because she could just see these guys were like, oh, he has muscles. Like they even called her to come. And she was like, you know, she was actually my type, like, you know, like nice big butt, you know, like athletic, you know, like fit. She came. I was just looking at my shoes. I don't know what she was doing, but it's like she tried looking up, and of course I wasn't trying to even like do anything. The guy literally like picked up my arm, like he literally picked up my arm, making me look like I'm flexing to her like my bicep. And she just started laughing and running away. So as I was saying, girls, they don't really want to see you flexing. They don't want to see you like saying, oh, look at my muscles. They just want to see the results. They want to see, does he have a sexy physique? Does he have a good physique? And it's effortless. Like they just want to see the effortless results. Like if they can see, yo, this guy's like, his V-taper is there and he's just walking around. That's what they're gonna look at. That's what they're gonna check out with like lust. Like they will literally get wet down there. They will get wet just by looking at you. That's exactly what that girl in my class was doing. You know, so it gets to a specific point, bro. Because nowadays it's even like I purposefully choose not to just wear like tank tops, like things that genuinely show my physique. You know. So I think that the only thing I can say is, yeah, but when you build more muscle, I know you want girls, I know you want them, but if you want to just increase how attractive you become to them and you want them to actually start treating you like an actual human being that exists in terms of like, you know, the sexual game, being attractive, building more muscle will help you. Pursue it, bro. Pursue it. Don't waste time. I think this should give you enough like motivation, enough like, you know, inspiration. Start your journey, bro. And in terms of your athleticism, don't try not to go down the hard way. You build muscle, but you also get fatter. Bulking. Do what is called clean bulking, where you don't eat a very huge amount above your maintenance calories. You can search these terms. But you you're getting a surplus, and at the same time, you're only eating a lot of like the cleaner foods. You're not just like randomly eating a lot of donuts. Cleaner foods. That's how you get bigger. Mostly muscle, but very minimal fat gain, or no fat gain at all. You can take this to the extreme if you want to be a bit slower on progress by going on a 2% surplus, but that's it. It's worth it. I'll see you.